Hey there Pokemon fans, Fargman 101 here with a ratings battle spot matchup for you, and what a battle spot matchup we've got for you today. So in this match we're going up against a trainer called Sky. He had an absolutely terrifying team on Team Preview. Two potential Megas, of which we see brought the Salamence out of those. Some really good OU Mons on there as well, including the Volcarona and Vixelli, which we've got on there. So anyone who plays VGC will know just how dangerous these things can potentially be, even in singles. We actually had very quickly during team preview actually decided not to bring Scrafty, who I'd actually selected to come in first, and decided to switch him out for Elron, mainly because I spotted that Volcarona and figured, you know what, I've got nothing that can deal with that. And that thing completely was Metagross, and as Metagross is my only Mega, I figured I'd bring it with me, so he'd probably bring the Volcarona to counter it. We also picked up Arcanine. Both his Megas were physical, so Arcanine seemed like a really good choice. And Elron we grabbed at the last minute as our special rule, mainly so we got something that could potentially deal out some damage to that Volcarona, because that thing, as I say, is a massive threat to the team. Without wasting any more time, guys, we're going to jump straight into the matchup for you. So Sky's going to issue a challenge for a battle spot, and he's going to open with Immense, which isn't too bad for us. We're opening with Metagross. He's going to get the Intimidate. Clear Body is going to stop him from dropping our attack, which is great news for us. However, we're not going to stay in here. I didn't know whether, figured this thing would be his Mega, and didn't know if it was going to be special, physical, or mixed. Most Menses are physical, but it could be any of the three. So I wanted to get an Intimidate off, figuring it'd probably go for a return. So Intimidate's going to come through, drop his attack to -1. We're going to see the Mega Evolution kick off. And this thing is now super fast and super scary. He's going to go for an EQ, so that was a really good plan on his part. If I'd have stayed in with Metagross would have gone down. As it stands, he's going to get some decent damage off on Arcanine. We see that he's mixed, he's going for a Draco. This is going to hurt, and we've got no special defense investment, but we are naturally bulky, so we should just live it on 18. That's great news for us. That means we can get a Will-O-Wisp off, providing we land it, which we do manage to land. So we've burnt that, so that's great. That means our ZQ is going to do a lot less. If you Pax Return or Outrage as well, that's going to potentially make our lives a lot easier. We're going to switch out there, decided to preserve Arcanine even though it was quite low. I'm going to go out into Milotic, figured if he EQs we'll live that fine because we're naturally bulky and it's burned. If he goes for a Draco with special defensive, we'll take that fine as well. So he goes for the EQ. Again, potentially right plan his part, he would have picked up the KO on Arcanine and still done some decentish damage to Metagross if he'd have switched into it. Decided not to go for the Ice Beam at this point. I figured he would probably switch. He went for a Skull because it is stab and at least it's neutral on everything else. We're going to see the Crest come through. We're going to get scored off. I was convinced at this point that he had got the Volcarona sat in the back. And so Elron here, Milotic becomes massively important to this matchup, as we can't really let it just go down from that as we'll need it to do some damage to that Volcarona. Crest is a bit of a problem though because of how bulky it is, and it's a really good staller, so we want to put that on the timer and go for a Toxic, which we do land, so this thing is now on the timer, which is great news for us. We're special defensive, this thing's specially defensive, but I'm his Toxic, I'm not, so he potentially won't win this store wall if it comes to that. He's going to get another Psychic off. We can type those all pretty much all day from the damage. Scud's going to come through, but the Toxic damage is going to start kicking in. Going to get our Lefty's recovery, so that negates most of the damage done from that Psychic, which is great news for us. Toxic damage is starting to rack up quite high now. We're going to see you go for another Psychic again. Again, we're just going to go for a straight up Scald. And we're going to get our Lefties. So Toxic's going to take him down really low. I figured he would potentially go for a Moonlight this turn, so again we've just gone for a straight Scald here. Just to try and bring it back down again, stop it in case he decides to Moonlight up again next turn. Also go for an Ice Beam here, predict him Immense I think, potentially to come in if he didn't go for a Moonlight. We're going to go for Leftovers recovery there as well and pull some health back. But Toxic is massively racking up now. So that Toxic on this thing really coming in clutch for us. Psychic's going to come through. Again, it's going to drop us to just under 100, but we should be back over 100. with our leftovers. Skull's going to drop this thing down there to a point where Toxic at the end of this turn should pick up the KO. And the wall goes down. So that's huge unit for us. That thing could cause absolute potential. So great job there from Elron in taking care of probably one of the best walls out there at the moment near you. We are going to see the Mega Ments come through though. We're having none of that. I really want it to keep melodic around in case that Volcarona came through. So we're literally just going to go straight ahead into Arcanine, get the Intimidate drop on it, so put it down to -2 with the burn, and sack Battle Cat off, unfortunately. But I really didn't want Owen taking any more damage that turn. That Draco, with us low on that health, could have potentially KO'd us, even though we specially defenses with the crit, so... you're going to see some burn damage start racking up. And we're going to see him withdraw the Ments, and he's going to go out into the Volcarona. So we did go for a recover on that one. I was expecting him to go for a Draco to get some damage off or try and pick up the KO. We really should have potentially gone for a Scald, but wasn't expecting to risk that switch, to be fair, so that was a great play on his part. He's going to outspeed us and get a Quiver Dance up, which is going to give him a special defense boost, which means the Scald is probably going to be just missed being a 2-hit KO now. It's the only move we can go to. Yeah, it doesn't do a lot after that special defense boost. We're going to see Bud Buzz come through, so it's at +1. That special defense drop is going to potentially cost us now though, because we can't take another one even with leftovers recovery. Without that defense drop, we'd probably live 2. However, we are going to manage to get this thing down into, or that's either going to be bullet punch range or just out of bullet punch range. We're going to see left is this Bud Buzz, unfortunately, is going to take us out due to that defense drop though. So if we hadn't had that defense drop, we'd have been in an absolutely brilliant shape right here. Metagross is going to come through, so all it all comes down to now is, can we KO this thing with a bullet punch? So we go for a bullet punch. This thing's defences aren't great, it didn't get a defence boost, and it is just going to pick up the KO, so that's great news for us. So now we're in a one-on-one with the burnt Ments. We can see Fire Blast come through and connect, so at this point I thought that's it, I'm done, but we managed to live on just on 57 with it being mixed and not stab. Meteor Mash is going to come through, that's going to take it down into bullet punch range, which is what we're aiming for. However, Burn is going to take it out for us, and that's going to be game. So, thanks for that matchup, Sky. Hope you all agree with that. Really enjoyed that match. It was really challenging, literally right down to the wire then those last couple of turns. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, rating or comment down below. I'll try to reply to any comments that you guys leave. But no, that match was exhausting, to a point where I did that match. I'd played a couple before, which are the last 2 previous videos, and then did this one and decided that's me done my battle spot for the day, because there is no way I'm going to be able to top that match up today anyway. And it's probably all going to be downhill from there anyway after that game. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, rating, or even sub to the channel. And if you leave any comments, I'll try to reply to them down below. Take care of yourselves out there for now, guys. And if I don't see you around, I will see you on Battle Spot. Bye for now.